Welcome to CSW Southland Wrestling. I'm the Articulator Steve Kenton with the play-by-play of everything that goes down here in Kankakee, Illinois tonight at TNT Hitting. One of the most impressive high flyers, lucha libre talents, and performers anywhere in the Midwest. The Tyrant of technology, the one-up player Ovirload, gets a championship match right now, exclusively with CSW Southland Wrestling. Ovirload shouting at children, trying to scare the youth of the world. My goodness, he's whipping chairs across this facility. A video game fanatic and also an expert. And now he's got the laser light gun as well as the Game Boy player. The CSW Metra Division Championship is up first, and Acid Jaz. And he's got the fans clapping in unison right now. Wow, we're bringing out the top stars in all of Chicago-style wrestling right away. And here we are. CSW Metra Division Champion. Jaz, a tag team champion. And then, just a day later, becomes the Metra Division Champion. And the history and the elements behind that. Oh, Acid Jaz for a cheap shot to Ovirload's behind. I don't know what he was reaching for. Maybe he pressed Ovirload's reset button. Maybe he downloaded or he uploaded a virus. Jaz having a few laughs at the expense of Ovirload before this match can even get started. CSW Southland, Kankakee, Illinois, a special live event on Saturday night, April the 26th. Jaz taking a sweet time getting into the ring. Ovirload seems to be stalking him. Lucifano has to bag him up. Plus, Acid Jaz has an opportunity to enter the ring. With gold and pride at stake in this battle here tonight. First match of CSW Southland tonight as the bell is sounded. Ovirload showed his bad temper on his way to the ring. A self-professed video game master, also a lucha libre technician, brutal striker, a chain wrestler with combinations, reversals, but most importantly, it's the bad attitude that Ovirload has that the fans will notice right away before anything else. CSW's Metra Division Champion Acid Jaz won the title in CSW Northland's event in Woodstock, Illinois on October 19th by defeating Nick Cutler. He ended Cutler's long championship reign, a dominant reign, and since becoming a defending champion, Acid Jaz has defended the title against any and all challengers, including those that are not necessarily regulars within Chicago-style wrestling or CSW Southland, and that's why Ovirload, a mainstay in multiple organizations, who has had tremendous success elsewhere, is having his chance to display his talents inside of a ring tonight. With successful championship defenses by Acid Jaz in recent months against Brian, I'm Not Your Boyfriend, Gravy Nelson, in addition to Mike Matthews and Colin Cambridge, clearly there has been a bit of a coincidence in the series of victories that Acid Jaz has been able to obtain in recent months. First and foremost, Acid Jaz loves to use that weapon of Jaz destruction, that vicious left-handed hook. But more importantly than that, one of his setups is spinning chocolate mist in the eyes of his opponents. Easily was able to take down Ovirload and then try for a front face lock. Nice counter into a hammerlock by Ovirload. We talked about the reversals and the great combinations that Ovirload presents in the ring. And that's what makes him dangerous in the squared circle. Ovirload pushing backwards on Jaz and maybe even grabbing a hold of that bandana. Wow, a spinning kick there, a crescent kick just landed right in the midsection of the hips of Acid Jaz as he kneels down in the corner. And a clobbering forearm and a And again, to the back as well as the neck. Ovirload sends Jaz to the ropes in a big knee lift, puts the champion down. It seems as though the striking by Ovirload is too much for the champion to handle so far. Oh, nice drop there, attacking the right hamstring of Ovirload for a moment. Several forearms by Jaz showing his strikes. Look at that roundhouse kick by Ovirload. Ovirload flipping off the opposition in a negative way. And a spinning head scissors takeover by Acid Jaz. A little off center, but still had the damage in the flick there. And an arm drag and a clothesline put Ovirload down to the outside. Jaz doing laps around the ring as he's in firm control of the situation so far as Luke Tafano, the referee, administers a count. Oh, Jaz might be taking flight, but Ovirload takes a sidestep. He moves out of the way. Ovirload turns around. Jaz with a flying crossbody on the floor. The do-rags come out, and Jaz is celebrating with multiple fans in the front row after his most recent flying body attack on the outside. This is our first match, and it's also for the CSW Metra Division Championship. There have been rumors circulating all day about the potential of other championship matches being assigned, but none of that has been made official as of this moment. And we hope to find out more details about that later as the night progresses. Jaz on the ring apron. Ovirload runs in. Oh my. Jaz got caught. Spinning neck breaker as Jaz was laid up against the middle rope. Ovirload showing his misdirection and timing was much better than Jaz on that drop. And Jaz rolls that left shoulder up despite the fact that his right foot was clearly under the bottom rope. Maybe that could have been the cause for a rope break, but I'm not sure if Luke Tafano was quite aware of the fact that Acid Jaz had that right leg draped underneath that rope. Out of the ringside picture of the vicinity of the ring. Ovirload taking advantage of the referee's count, trying to choke Jaz while he's down in the ring. Continuing to step and twist and torque on that neck. Here's Ovirload with a leaping stomp right there, and then kicks backwards. Jaz is vulnerable at this point. CSW Southland, this one-on-one match with championship implications would be a pretty shocking set of circumstances if Jaz were to actually lose the championship in this opening battle of this event. Nice reverse and a counter by Jaz trying to twist and break that arm. Jaz sent it to the top turnbuckle pad, and then that extra reinforcement on that bulldog elbow smash in the back of the head. Beautiful combination by Ovirload, and you saw how Ovirload had straddled both legs intentionally so that way he could maximize the total amount of pressure and body weight that was placed along the chest of Acid Jaz at the time. Multiple fans in the front row along one side of the ring giving Ovirload a bit of lip at this present point of time. Ovirload clearly distracted, giving Acid Jaz a lot of time to recover at this point. Jaz with a big spine buster puts Ovirload onto his back. And now Jaz in succession protecting his own head, and now in an attempt to damage his opponent's head has hit the leg drops and then that fist drop. All the momentum switching all of a sudden as Jaz gets a 2 count. Trying for a backslide attempt. Ovirload dragged down for a moment, but Ovirload rolls out of it. Quick stomp by Ovirload. Now Ovirload is stuffed Acid Jaz for the time being. Now 2 count only as Acid Jaz rolls that left shoulder up. CSW Southland, we're in Kankakee, Illinois, inside of TNT Hitting, this beautiful facility that houses all sorts of sporting opportunities and advantages and training in multiple forms of athletic competition. And tonight it is the scene of some great professional wrestling action. This match between Jaz and Ovirload has lived up to expectations because it has shown a tremendous amount of combinations of moves, quickness, agility, as well as hard-hitting attacks among the body parts. Now Jaz has had enough. He's tired of being humiliated and bullied around. I've been going for sliced chocolate, but Acid Jaz was released and sent into the middle turnbuckle pad. That immediately slows down the progression of what Acid Jaz was hoping to accomplish in the ring. As Ovirload stands in the corner, runs in. Oh, he got caught. Look at Acid Jaz. Beautiful exploding suplex, dropping Ovirload right onto his head. Wow, the ricochet shot off of the middle turnbuckle pad onto the small of the back, as well as the drop on the back of Ovirload's head. I mean, that would darn near cripple any human being, but I don't even know if Ovirload is a human being. Being the video game technician and the master that he is, he has some sort of a way to manage his situations out of every predicament. Clobbering double axe ankle shots over and over again. Jaz has momentum. His championship's at stake. He got reversed to the ropes by Ovirload. Nice hook with the right hand, big boot, and a clothesline. Nice triplicate of maneuvers by Acid Jaz. Not hooking a leg earlier than he should have, and that might have been the cause of Ovirload easily kicking out of that pinning opportunity. The match continues. Cinches in Ovirload. Tried for another over-the-shoulder exploding suplex, but Ovirload with a nice counter. Oh my, a double stomp, curb stomp, sending Jaz head first and his forehead first right onto the mat below. Oh, what a nasty drop that was. We might have a new champion right now. Oh, that was so close. Definitely 2 3/4. The closest near fall of this match by far. And Ovirload, a little puzzled at the fact that he wasn't able to claim victory. But now he has that entire right knee exposed by pulling down on that right knee pad. Go behind into a half Nelson, trying to lock in the full Nelson. Jaz now getting closer to the corner, and Ovirload forcing Acid Jaz's head into that top turnbuckle pad. Jaz can't even see his opponent from that angle. Switches into a side perspective as Ovirload again forcefully sends Acid Jaz into the corner on multiple occasions. Wait a minute, Jaz with the counter, sliced chocolate. Ovirload takes the fall in the back of his head. Jaz the champion, but Ovirload's got his left boot, his left leg draped across the bottom rope. This match continues under these circumstances. Acid Jaz hearing the claps from the crowd. And Jaz might be winding up for that weapon of Jaz destruction. Oh, he was going to cream him with that shot, but he missed. Ovirload ducked. And a big pickup. And look at that. A Falcon's arrow drop to Jaz. And Jaz again gets the right shoulder up. Highly competitive battle between these two. Multiple near falls. You would expect this in a CSW Metra Division Championship bout. And the fans are watching to see exactly what's going to happen next. And this highly anticipated singles encounter, which has definitely raised some eyebrows in this building already. Ovirload focused in the direction towards the fans again. So now he is scaling and climbing all the way to the top rope. He flies! Oh, Acid Jaz brought the knees! Heaving in the rib cage of Ovirload. And there it's the weapon of Jaz destruction. The huge left-handed hook. That's it. Jaz has retained the Metra Division Championship.
Wrestling fans, your winner by pinfall, and still CSW Metra Division Champion, Hot Chocolate Acid Jaz.
Acid Jaz still the Metra Division Champion. A huge victory in front of a great crowd here tonight. Acid Jaz is victorious, and we'll have more action in just a moment. Great victory by Acid Jaz, surviving the elements, winning this opening bout as he continues to reign as the top performer in all of CSW's Metra Division.